So I'm just going to very quickly step you through what setting up OpenID Connect looks like in a system like WordPress, just to give you an idea of how simple this process is, what it might look like in your system. Um, yeah, just to emphasize the process here. So with WordPress, in case you're unfamiliar, there is a gigantic number of plugins available for WordPress. And among those plugins, there are several for OpenID Connect. So you can pick your favorite OpenID Connect plugin. In this example, we just used the first one that comes up by Mini Orange. And once we install the plugin, we are prompted to add a new application to use for single sign-on. So clicking on that Add New Application button, we get taken to a page where we have a whole bunch of different OpenID Connect providers. These are from the traditional federated ID world. We will be using the custom OpenID Connect app, which takes us to a form where we enter in the key details that we need in order to access and use Proven Auth from our WordPress site. So we provide a name, we provide a callback URL. In this case, this screenshot that I took was from just a locally running instance, so it's not the most interesting URL here, but this would typically be like, https://mywordpresssite.com, and then you'd provide a client ID and secret. These are both generated by Proven Auth during client registration. So there's a process here that I haven't shown of configuring the WordPress client on Proven Auth. We provide a set of scopes with a minimum of OpenID, and then provide the authorization endpoint and a token endpoint. And these are going to be well-known values according to what you've provided or how you've set up your Proven Auth instance. So after we do that, the WordPress plugin that we're using will actually go through a test where it automatically detects which claims are available in the ID token returned by this provider, which means it'll actually run through a test sign-in process. So we get this pop-up that comes up that we then scan with a quick admin user to get it set up. We see the presentation complete, and then we see the test configuration. These are the actual claims provided in the ID token. And then the plugin maps those to what WordPress is expecting in this case, which I think it's mostly just pulling out the, let's see, I'll go back here for a second, preferred username, given name, family name, email, those values. Okay. Then when we return to the login screen for that WordPress site, we get a new button on our login form that allows us to log in with the Proven Auth. So that's what the configuration process looks like. I'm actually going to hop over to this demo WordPress site that we have spun up here, and I'm going to actually go through that presentation process. So we have this login with Proven Auth button, which takes us to this page where we can scan this QR code with our Holder Plus app. We see that it is making a connection here in the background, and we get a presentation request. We can view the details, and we see that it's asking for this user ID credential with these attributes. So we accept the presentation request, our exchange completes, and then we're redirected to the WordPress homepage. We can see I'm now signed in with my username of Bluhm, and we're into the site. As it happens, the plugin we're using doesn't allow you to do like admin user unless you pay for the plugin. We're not paying for the plugin right now, so this is just a quick demonstration. If we were paying, I'd be able to get in here and like adjust the admin, be able to install plugins, all that fancy stuff. But yeah, for the purposes of demonstration, this is what we get in our dashboard here. Yeah, let's see. I think that concludes the demo, unless James or Mike, you have anything else you would like me to highlight?
So the configuration process, let's say you had a dozen systems.
Yeah.
It should be relatively similar from one to another because a lot of those, the tokens and the endpoints and so on are going to be the same because you're integrating all of them with proven auth. And so a lot of the values are going to be same from one system to another, right?
Right, exactly. In fact, this form here that we presented from the WordPress demonstration, this is essentially exactly what you would be putting into each of those systems. It's just a small set of information of providing the callback URL, client ID, client secret, scopes, authorization endpoint, token endpoint. So you just take those values, put them into each system that needs to integrate with proven auth, and then you're off to the races.
And those values come from proven auth. You do the proven auth config and it gives them most of those to you.
Right. Yeah. So
Awesome.
authorization endpoint, token endpoint, those are going to be static, unchanging for each client. Client ID and client secret will, of course, be unique per application. And callback URL is also a pointer to the URL on the client on the relying party that the login process redirects to. Um,
Well, where
Scopes,
some of the values are the same and where the process for each of the systems is so similar, that really helps with quickly integrating a bunch of systems to use the same identity provider.
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
What stands out to me is the speed at which you can get that set up even on the fly. As a non-developer, I mean it comes across as fairly quick and simple to get up and going, and I think that's it's something enticing for enterprises that are looking to start integrating verifiable credentials quickly. So that's what I'm particularly excited about with this. It,
Yeah, absolutely.
and from a customer user standpoint, um, the concept of scanning a QR code to log into something, it's not necessarily a new concept. A couple of months ago, I was in Singapore. Singapore, they use something called SingPass for citizens to access their government citizen portals, government services, where they scan a QR code to log in. But what makes this different is that incorporation of a verifiable credential, and the flexibility and the other add-ons and features that can be added on to add the extra level of security.